Hi, this is Mike Hendrickson from Strata Hadoop World in New York City. I'm here with Paul Kent. Paul, how you doing?
I'm very good today, thanks.
So you're with SAS.
SAS, we like you to say SAS, yes.
We do. And so what do you do with SAS?
Well, I'm in R&D. I'm lucky I've sort of graduated from operational responsibilities. I get to spend about a third of my time with customers, a third of my time with the partner ecosystem, the Clouderas and the Hortonworks and Intels, et cetera, and then that final third of time trying to bring all of that information from those first two parties back into our R&D, into our thinking, and help steer us a little bit where everybody else wants us to go.
So let's talk a little bit about that partnering node, the second node there. Mm-hmm. What's important to SAS and your partners right now? What's on everyone's radar?
Well, Hadoop as an ecosystem is almost back to the past, right? It's kind of like a mainframe all over again. There's this big shared resource, the pile of data that you've assembled in your data lake or in your Hadoop system, and you're trying to bring all flavor of software to process that amount of data, but you're not so happy anymore about making another copy of the data, moving it to the specialty server for this, or things like that. So the participating in the community has become more important because customers are expecting to share their Hadoop cluster with lots of workloads, and we have to fit in with that, obviously. So
interoperability with all your partners and their platforms.
At that level, interoperability with the storage formats that people are saving the data at. As you probably know, Hadoop's a really rapidly evolving animal, and all of the sub-projects change quite quickly. So that's part of the challenge too, is how do we keep up to date with all the changes, and how do we stop the next release of something from breaking something that was already working quite smoothly? And that's one of the teething pains of the Hadoop ecosystem as it grows up, is trying to focus on stability, and release to release shouldn't break things that are already working.
So one other aspect of your job that's intriguing is the research part. Mm-hmm. So what's on your roadmap? What are you seeing in what you're doing?
The convergence of Hadoop, big data, and cloud. I don't want to own the servers. I want to rent them, and I want to rent them elastically. I want to rent them by the hour or as I need. And if it's a busy weekend or month end, I want to borrow some more for a while and give them back when I'm done with it. So the kinds of things we find ourselves having to do to software to respond to changes in demand, to be elastic, to be resilient to failure in the cloud is a little harder than resilient to failure in a data center, where more often it's more controlled. The units are more likely to be similar. So the modernization that's underway at SAS now is, first of all, to complete that journey of parallelizing all of the software. Making it run on a single computer was work for the 1980s and 1990s, but in the 2010s and 15s, we have to make sure that the mathematics runs on a distributed computing framework, that it runs massively parallel to to do its thing, whatever fancy mathematics its thing is. So at the basic level, converting the mathematics to massively parallel, and then at the interface or platform level, making sure we're working well with cloud architectures, and very happy to see the continued growth of Yarn as a substrate for supervising lots of different things, all fighting almost for access to the resources of the cluster to get the job done.
And so that third part of your job that you described was reporting back from your customers, mm-hmm. and bringing that back into your product.
Right.
So what's the most common thing that your customers are asking for or wanting from you guys?
Probably security challenges them still. Security is it's an evolving thing in Hadoop. There's good point solutions for security. Unfortunately, some of them only secure it if you use this door. It's like a good lock on the front door, but all the windows down the side of the house are open, and you can use Hive and you can secure it through tools that secure Hive. But if you go straight at the underlying data, then that security policy is not in play. And there's not very good broad-based security policy yet that a customer could set up his rules of who can see it and who can't process it, and it would apply broadly. So they're all still struggling with this patchwork quilt, I like to say, of different approaches to achieve the end result that they feel like, yeah, they've got the right security in place to stop people from looking at things they shouldn't be, or at the detail. A lot of them will take the first action of just tokenizing or removing all the detail that personally identifies you. So it's no longer your credit card number, it's some magic hash of that, and most people don't get to see the real credit card number or the real social security number that's replaced by encrypted, hashed equivalents.
Are there solutions on the near term?
There are solutions for doing that, but again, it's not nicely integrated, and it doesn't just work. It's something that they have to plan for and learn how to do better, and et cetera, et cetera.
So let's fast forward to San Jose, and you and I are going to have the same conversation in San Jose.
Okay.
What's going to occupy your time the most in the next 6 to 8 months in the data world, obviously?
I think it's a little bit more of the same. There's this transition going on between processing the data that we've collected versus processing the data as we're collecting it. So this switch to streaming, processing the stream of data, as people have adapted their old data challenges into Hadoop. They've gotten their credit cards online, and they've gotten their customer file online, and they've gotten handle on their transactions. They're starting to experiment with beacon technology in their retail stores or location. They've built a smart app instead of, used to be a loyalty card, a plastic thing, but now it's a smart app that's the loyalty app, and they get so much more information out of an application. How can they deliver content to that app and respond to it and learn about your individual preferences, or make much smaller segments of people? So I guess that's a transition that's underway, this batch processing to more stream or right now processing. And the gradual shift from on-premise to big data in the cloud. There's a lot of cloud applications, of course, but the big data on the cloud is people are going through the learning exercises of how they're going to make that work well for themselves.
Excellent. We look forward to having that conversation in San Jose.
All right, very
Thanks,
good.
Paul.
See you there. Thank you. Thanks for having me.